take a look at Dualless. Dualless is an extension only for Chrome that lets you basically take a tab when you're, like for example, if you're doing a Google Meet, and instead of having two tabs open, like right now I have this Dualless Chrome Web Store tab open, and I have this fake Meet going. Instead of having these two tabs that I have to go back and forth, we'll put them side by side. If you look here in their examples, you can see, for example, you have those two tabs side by side, so you could see this document and that document at the same time, or this YouTube and whatever website that is. So this is really handy for when you're using Meets, especially if you're doing something like you have an agenda open, right? You can have your agenda on one side and the Meet on the other, so you can kind of keep tabs of what's going on. Or let's say you're keeping notes and you want the notes, in Google Docs open in one place and the Meet going. So the first thing is when you go to the Chrome Web Store, which is just chrome.google.com, you would do a search for Dualless. And when you click on it, there'd be an option to add it. I already have it added. You can see it's actually right here in my Chrome toolbar. So in my case, I would need to remove it, but for you, you could add it and you'd have access to it right there. Okay? So now let's talk about how to actually use the extension. So in this case, like I said, I have this Meet going, and let's say what I want to do is I want to get an interactive whiteboard going, something that maybe I'm using to demo with my students some math, or we're collaborating with. So I'm going to do that in this case by going to Drive. Here in Google Drive, I'm going to click on New. I'm going to go to More. And then I'm going to, under More, go to Google Jamboard. Now, if you've never used Jamboard before, I have another video about how it works, but it's basically an interactive, shareable whiteboard. I'm going to just close out that extra tab. So I have these two tabs, right? Okay. So let's say I'm in my Meet and I want to also look at my Jamboard. So if I click over here on this icon, my Dualless split screen icon, and click on it, I have all these different options of how I can split my screen. So for example, let's say I want to do this 4x6 split. So here you can see now I have my little whiteboard. So I can grab one of my tools and do some writing, right, while still being in the meeting. At any point, I can go back to that icon and change how the layout is. So I could do, 7x3 and have a bigger section for my video. Or I could do a 50-50 split if I wanted to. Or at any point, I can go and select one and have it put back together as two tabs. Now, I'll also point out, besides horizontal, you also have vertical. If you do that, what it'll do is it will stack your windows one on top of the other. I'm personally not sure why I would ever do it that way. I'd find it, I think, more confusing, but that is an option. And again, that was by clicking here and going to vertical instead of horizontal. So that's a quick little demo on using Dualless.